Hey y'all, hi. Do I sound sick? I'm actually not sick anymore. I am in that recovery period where it's all still lingering, but the illness has gone. However, I was sick. Everyone in my family got sick in California, and a lot of other wild things have happened too. I'm just at the end of kind of a wacky, 5 to 6 day period. I'm going to tell you about it while I apply makeup that was PR for the Creators and Friends influencer trip, which was why we went to California. Tell you a little bit about that. I haven't planned the look. I've just gathered the products together, so it's going to be one of those days. But I have a feeling that it's going to work out. If you're new, welcome. I'm Hannah. I make videos. I'm also a writer. I will link my book down below. I published a book this year. I encourage you to click through and check it out. I encourage you to register to vote if you have not already. We're getting closer and closer, y'all. It is time to make sure you are registered to vote. And now let us get into the meat of the video. Wow, this is one of those days where everything I've got has been going into kind of barreling towards getting myself to this place so that I could be filming this video. And I've been doing that without really thinking about the reality of filming it. And now that I'm here, I'm excited. I've just been like, must get there, must begin. And now here we are. And I'm like, ooh, I get to put on all this makeup. Oh, and I immediately want to do something unorthodox. And I'm going to. I should start with telling you what Creators and Friends is, but I want to start putting on makeup while I do that, so I'm going to start with telling you what this is. This packaging is kind of nice. The lid is kind of nice. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Liquid Highlighter. Physicians Formula was one of the sponsors of Creators and Friends. They sponsored a pool party. I know. But before we go on, can you even stand these nails? Can you even stand them? I think they are one of the 3 most beautiful pairs of glue-on nails. These are like fake nails. Like they're stuck on. 3 most beautiful sets of nails I have ever seen in my entire life. And the other 2 are also by this same company and arrived in the package. I bought these. These were not PR. They are from a brand called The Editorial Nail, which is such an awesome company, a small, independent, woman-owned, Black-owned business. The most beautiful nail designs I've ever seen in my entire life. When I say my breath was taken away, I opened the package and I was just like, the designs, which are, what is the phrase that, I've got to put on makeup while I'm doing this. I'm already derailed. Okay, I'm going to use this Sigma Flat Kabuki. And I'm going to see how this product, which has a scent, but it's like what you would imagine, sort of a, suns out, guns out scent, like Sunday by the pool scent. But it's not too strong. I'm going to use it on my body. Actually nice. And I'm also going to use it as like an underpainting on my face. It's actually so nice. It's kind of satiny, blurring. You know what I mean? Wow. So the designs, the phrase, I think it's corporate baddie. I think that is what it is. Corporate baddie. It's very that. All of the designs are gorgeous, but the nails themselves are also very beautiful shape, really thick and sturdy. They blend into skin, the cuticles, the fingers really well. They look incredibly real. I mean, I think you can tell. They look like acrylics. I think you can tell by looking at my hands. They're unclockable. Wow. And I really like that about them. I found out about the editorial nail from Simbri, who's one of the organizers of Creators and Friends. I've been wanting to try them for a really long time. Wow, now that I'm up here talking, I can hear how sick I sound. I really feel a lot better, I promise. Okay, this is wild. This is wild, but it's really pretty. It's really pretty. For me, the one drawback, it has a scent kind of like fruit-scented child's toy, like scratch and sniff, that kind of fruit scent. To me, that's the one drawback, especially at drugstore prices. I mean, come on, this is like really, really nice. And there's a lot of it, it's like a big tube. And so it's just like, you can use it all over. I squeezed out way too much. I don't know what I thought I was going to be doing with like an amount that could cover my entire body from head to toe. All right. So I'm going to try this Sigma product. The bottle looks super pink. It's a tint. It's a hydrating tint. The bottle looks super pink, but it's actually pretty pale. So we'll see how it goes. Applying with the Sigma F48 soft coverage. This is like a big, soft, dense complexion brush, which is the kind of thing I really like to use. And hopefully it'll sheer out and that shine will shine through. And I will tell you about Creators and Friends. Creators and Friends is basically, it's an influencer brand trip that's sponsored by multiple brands. So the amazing influencers who started it are my friends, I'm proud to say, Samantha and Simbri. And what they do is they choose a location and then they gather together a group of influencers who want to attend that trip. And then they ask brands if they would like to sponsor parts of the trip instead of like just one brand sponsoring one entire trip, which just makes it more, I feel like, authentic, free-flowing, open-hearted, more community-oriented than a single trip sponsored by a single brand. You know what I'm saying? Which is like the traditional brand trip. I talked more about the Creators and Friends business model. This color-wise, by the way, this Sigma tint, this is going a lot better than I expected. Like a lot better. This is the third Creators and Friends trip. I went on the first one, which was to Charleston, South Carolina, over a year ago, back when I was pregnant, and I couldn't go to the second one. I was supposed to, but a series of unfortunate events befell us, kept us from going. But I made it to this one, which was the third one, and a series of unfortunate events still befell us. Spoiler alert. I'm kind of shook because you know I don't love a skin tint. The thing that's making this one work is, one, the color. It doesn't have green or gray in it, so it doesn't do literally everything that I would want because it doesn't color correct the redness, but it's a very pale and quite neutral shade. It's not too peach, it's not too pink. So what it's just doing is like lightening the redness, kind of, or lightening the way in which the redness darkens my skin. So it's bringing the shade of my face up to match like my neck better. And while there's still a little bit of underlying redness, it's mostly covering and canceling. That's not the thing that's making it work. That is contributing, but the thing that's really making it work for me in a way that skin tints don't usually is that it's drying down. It's not staying slidey, and it's not like pigment mixed with lotion that literally sits on the skin. It's not a tinted moisturizer. It's a makeup product. So it's drying down almost like, it's not a dusty matte, but it's like a skin-like matte. You know what I mean? It's drying down and becoming, it looks so much like that is just my skin. It looks so natural. I am shook. I am absolutely shook. I really tend to think of brushes and brush cleaner when I think of Sigma because they do have the best brush cleaning tools on the market. And I know that they make good makeup, but like, I'm going to be using this. I brought all of my other makeup to like fix it because I thought it wasn't going to work, but it really worked. I am going to use a little bit of the Refi concealer. I have like a spot here and it's a little more pigmented. So I'm just going to get these spots. But I am so happy with the coverage of that Sigma one, especially as somebody who likes my skin to look real. And in order for skin to look real, some imperfections have to show, you know? So those scars, you can see they're very faded. They don't look as sort of angry or contrasty or present as they usually do. They're very faded, but you can at least see them a little bit. So my skin really looks real, like its real self. Wow, this is going spectacularly well so far. I am really pleased. It's so fun to come across it's fun to be surprised by something really good, you know? Wow. And also it's just, I've been sick now for like 5 days. So I've been looking and feeling really wretched. And this is the first time I've put myself together since I started coming out of the woods. So that always feels really good. You know what I mean? Like yesterday I felt well enough to put these nails on. And this morning I woke up and I was like, it's on. Life is back on. The light's coming back on. And now like getting on some complexion product and being like, this is me now. Okay, I made a video about the first Creators and Friends. That's what I've been trying to say this whole time. And I was, I think, more thorough in that video about explaining what it is. But if I haven't done a good enough job, I'll try again a little bit. Basically, it's an event for influencers that is run by influencers that incorporates some brand sponsorship, which is really lovely because it makes the whole thing possible. And then the best part about it, like the major outcome of it, is that we all get to meet each other in person, which we never get to do because we're spread all over the place. It's this weird, like lonely, isolating job. We're friends online, but we never get to meet in person. It's weird having a workplace, like a group of colleagues who you never get to meet in person unless something like this happens, you know? Since going on the first trip, I feel like my job has changed. Like the way that I exist in my job has changed because I now have real life friends who also do my same job, which I did have a couple before. I already knew Simbri. I knew Lauren May Beauty because we lived in LA together and we all spent a lot of time together. But now it's like, I know Kelly Gooch in person. I know Amanda Z in person. Tina, the fancy face. Like we are real life life friends in person. We've only gotten to be together a couple of times at these events, but that little bit of time goes so far towards actually making us feel like we belong to real community, because we then continue being connected online in the in-between times. So I feel like Creators and Friends, I gotta keep going. I feel like Creators and Friends has like changed what it is to be an influencer, a micro-influencer, like in this part of the beauty community. And I'm so grateful for that. I think the only thing I have to put on my cheeks is this other Physicians Formula powder product. Oh, wait. Typology branding is so beautiful, don't you think? I feel like I already put on a liquid highlight. I might do a whole Typology video, and I do want to put this on. Okay, interesting. So the Typology, I feel like it's a brighter, wetter glow than the Physicians Formula, which had that sort of blurry, satiny glow. The Typology, it's a classic, like sheer, very bright, wet look highlight. And I do want to try it separately when I'm not like layering on all of this product. So I'm going to try to feature it in a separate video. I have to try on this gray lip gloss later, but I'll put the Typology one on now, just so we can see what it looks like. So this is the Typology lip oil in powder pink. It's applying more thickly than I was expecting it to. Like it feels really nourishing instead of being really thin, which some lip oils are. They're just so thin and they evaporate immediately. I like the formula a lot. It feels amazing. And I like the color better than I thought that I would too. I thought it was gonna be too pink for me, but it's actually very natural looking and I'm a big fan. I actually am really excited about this product, even though it's not gonna be the final lip for this look. And yeah, we'll return to Typology. I'm going to try this Physicians Formula bronzer blush combo thing because I feel like I need a little color in my cheeks, and I'm kind of excited about this Butter Glow bronzer blush. I like this. It's promising to me. I like this pale brown pink situation. Okay, so initially it's applying lighter than I expected it to, which I really like. I mean, I was hoping that it would apply kind of lightly. Just one application is a very faint wash of color, and that would have been ideal for me. Unfortunately, I kept going and it built to a color that's really pretty. It's a light version of that sort of sunsetty, almost orange pink bronze that I don't particularly love for myself. This is what it looks like. It does look really natural, healthy. It is really pretty. It's just a little strong for me right now. I learned my lesson though. The other thing is I'm applying it on top of those cream highlights, which have set down, but still I'm sure that they're intensifying the color. This product has promise for me. I'm using the kabuki that I used for the liquid highlights to kind of soften it a little. Wow, all that did was make it like so bright. My cheeks are popping today. It's fine. We'll leave it. Actually, I'm just going to put just a drop of the Sigma tint. Wow, the drama of putting just a drop. And use this same kabuki and just mix it in with what's on my cheeks. I think that'll get me where I want to go. Yeah, the color and the shine are still there, but they're toned way down. Way down. Like that Sigma tint. That is an impressive product. Just one drop on both cheeks and it covered a lot. That is like a powerhouse product. Where were we? I need to put something on my eyes. So I think you have the gist about Creators and Friends. This one was in Palm Springs. It was at this beautiful, like an old-fashioned, like a 60s hotel where it's all one, like a classic 60s Palm Springs style hotel where the rooms are all on one level and they all surround this beautiful pool in the middle. It was really cute. It was charming, very Palm Springs, very vintage. My husband Joe and our 1-year-old came with me. Like we all went together. I'm still breastfeeding. It was the easiest way for us for a bunch of logistical reasons. And we also have really good friends in LA that we got to visit with. So we got to stay for a couple of days with our wonderful friends with whom we lived during the pandemic. And their baby is now 4. So we had lived with them with their baby when their baby was the age that our baby now is. So we got to take our baby to stay with them for like 3 days before the Palm Springs event. And the kids got to play together, which was really great. And they loved each other. Julia's baby and our baby loved each other. Like he cried. Felix cried when on the one day that was a school day for Julia's kid, when she left for school, he like cried because she was leaving. And then also Julia, her kid had like a birthday party to go to, I think on the Sunday. They went to the birthday party and after 5 minutes, the 4-year-old was like, let's go home so we can be with cousin Felix. Like they just like wanted to be together the entire time. It was so good. So that was amazing. We were there for a while. Then we drove out to Palm Springs to go to Creators and Friends. That was amazing. So speaking of all of this traveling coast to coast, eating scrambled eggs and toast, Nomad Cosmetics was also a sponsor. How cute is this? It's so cute. It's like this little travel bag. There's like a face cream and a lip salve in these really cute tins and a little palette that's actually so pretty. This is my first encounter with Nomad Cosmetics and I was very impressed. I mean, I'm very impressed by like the packaging, the concepts, the execution. I think that is incredibly cute, incredibly Nomad themed. This, I hope you can see the texture on this palette up close. It's like it's embossed. It's so beautiful, so beautifully designed. The execution is out of this world. The color story is stunning. Like the way that the color story is a comment on the theme, I guess, like the manifestation of the theme. I just think this is unbelievably well done. Can't do a bunch of swatching right now, but I had to touch that one. Okay, here's what's happening. I actually have a little bit of a time crunch today. I don't know if you could tell. I want to finish telling the rest of the story because I haven't really gotten to all of the series of unfortunate events. So far, it's just like creators and friends is the greatest. I'm so excited I got to go. The whole family went. We had a great time in LA with our old friends. We also got to see our old friend James, who was one of the poets who was in school with me in my MFA, and that was incredible. So far, so good, right? And now I only have a little bit of time left. I have like way more eyeshadows than I can put on my eyes because I have these shadows from Cliona. But if I dig into them and start swatching them, we're going to be here forever. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the Typology products and the Cliona in another trying new makeup video that's coming soon. I also have some other things I'm really excited to show you that aren't relevant here, but that I can put in that video. So it makes sense, right? So we'll punt Cliona to the next video. I'm gonna put, oh my gosh, I actually feel like this glowy look I have, even though this isn't usually my vibe, I just need to put this on my eyes. I have needs, okay? And this is one of them. This is what we're doing. So it's a blue glow, like a blue reflect. Ooh, it's so great. And I feel like it's giving me, it's like a contemporary nod to the blue eyeshadow, like vintage blue eyeshadow, but it's also very now. I'm really into that. I'm gonna put on this bronze Physicians Formula. What is it? What's this called? Mascara. It looks pretty dark and it does have that scent. So the formula feels pretty good. Actually, the brush is nice and big and round. Time will tell. The color is a very dark brown. It's not the like light brown, bronzy shade for which I'm always looking. And it has that scent. But especially if you're looking for a dark, rich brown and you like a big barrel bristle brush for your mascara, it may be worth checking out. It's definitely working with the look. So before I move on to the lip, I've got to tell you a little bit more of the story. We got to Palm Springs. It was just one of those absolutely bananas, like one thing after another, almost comical domino effect things. But for a variety of reasons, we ended up having to change locations 3 times in Palm Springs. So we thought we were just going to set up shop at a hotel like close to the event space and that Joe and the baby would be there at the pool hanging out while I was kind of going back and forth and attending the Creators and Friends events. That was the plan. That part of the plan totally collapsed from the inside out, and we ended up having to scramble for a place to stay and then scramble for a place to stay again, which was of course stressful with like a just turned 1-year-old, like still kind of a baby. Like he's not even really a toddler yet, you know, he's a baby and he has like a baby's needs. So that was stressful. I still managed to make it to every single event of Creators and Friends, which was so awesome. Like I was so glad that I was able to be there. By far the shining glory of this whole wild event was being able to be with my friends in person, meet some new friends in person, be there for each one of the events, all of which were spectacular. The dinner on the first night, the pool party that was sponsored by Physicians Formula, the favorite things game where everybody brought 4 versions of one of their favorite things and then everyone got to like pick one thing in order until they were all gone. So we each got 4 things. Like that was so fun. Playing the Price is Right with the price of beauty products with everyone, like everything was amazing. The dinner on the last night, which was sponsored by Sigma, and I got to meet some of the people who work at Sigma. It was so cool. But I didn't get to spend as much time in between events, like just hanging out as I did the first time because I was constantly going back to help Joe like triage and help us figure out where we were going to be next and help move all of our stuff from one place to the next. It's like an absolutely wild thing to be doing for 3 solid days in Palm Springs. And it was 110 degrees, my friends. It was 110 degrees. So that was all happening. And then on the last day, Felix woke up in the morning with a high fever. So this is Warlock Demon from Fantasy Cosmetica. It's like a gray, smells kind of like grape candy or something. It's like a gray black lip gloss. I'm remembering now. It's a lip oil. It's on the thin side, but still feels pretty good. I wish the scent was a little less strong, and I am totally obsessed with the color and the way that it looks. Oh my God. I wish that more lip products looked like this. I wish that there were more gray, black, sheer, like, it's like a jelly gloss. That's how it feels. Or a jelly oil, like a jelly oil. It's thin, but it has that like jelly feeling. It's nice. But it's not Teflon jelly. It's like a nice, nourishing jelly feel. Really, really nice. All right. I actually do have to go. I'm so sorry. I have an appointment. I don't usually do this. I usually film when I have a deadline like this, but this time I really do have to go. To make a long story short, Felix, he woke up with a fever. Babies get fevers all the time when they're just fighting something off. So you have to kind of wait and see. We hoped that that would be the case. However, he got croup that evening, which is a terrifying but pretty normal thing that babies can get. But this is the first time that it's happened, and it was very bad croup. It was like he was struggling to breathe. I mean, I think he was struggling to breathe. Anyway, we ended up in the ER in Palm Springs in the middle of the night. And then when we got back to Los Angeles, that this hurricane hit Western North Carolina, which is where my family lives. Everything was like the moving from place to place in Palm Springs wasn't ideal, but with that aside, everything was going like as planned, you know. And we went from having this event trip to Palm Springs and being like, yay, to suddenly having like a crouping baby and a hurricane. And my parents, like everything, an internet power, like everything went out. We couldn't get in touch with them for like 48 hours. The news out of Western North Carolina was like, everything's been flooded, everything's underwater, like landslides are happening, houses are floating down the river. Like it is truly a disaster. I mean, if you haven't been reading about it, I think there's a lot going on right now. So not everyone has really like seen the full picture of it, but it is total destruction. And it's right where they live, like all around them. Both of their houses are actually fine. My mom's house and my dad's house, for two different reasons. My mom's very close to the river, but her house happens to be up on a hill. My dad was further from the river. Both of them ended up fine. But the water was rising up the hill at my mom's house, and her cousin had built a tiny house inside of a shipping crate, which is like so cool. I actually took footage of it the last time I was down there, and I was going to post it on Instagram. I may still do that. But the tiny house floated like 1.5 miles down the river because the river rose all the way up around the hill, and the tiny house like floated. I mean, it's just wild. They're fine. My family is fine, and their community, I mean, it's so lucky. Like, it's so wonderful. Not everybody is fine. It's like been really, really wild. And it's as we speak, I mean, communication is only just really getting restored. So it still kind of remains to be seen, like what all of the fallout is. But that's what's been happening ever since. Like it went straight from being by the pool with Physicians Formula in Palm Springs, then suddenly like whoosh, like a sick baby, this natural disaster, and then trying to figure out how everything was from LA and then getting home. And then by the time we got home, Joe and I both had contracted whatever virus it was that caused the croup. Because croup itself isn't a virus. It's like a thing that a baby can develop because of having a flu or a cold or something like that. So we've just been here constantly checking the news from Western North Carolina, waiting for news from my family, recovering from being sick. And I think that brings us up to the beginning of the video where I woke up this morning with the nails on and I was like, I think I'm starting to come back online. I truly have got to go. I hate to rush like this. This is why I never do this, but there will be, I guess, what's essentially a part 2 of this video is what I'll do. I'll essentially film a part 2 in which I review some of the other products and maybe even catch you up in more detail about how things went, because I feel like I might have missed something. And I know that I omitted a lot of detail because I was just trying to tell you the end of the story so that I could not be late to my appointment. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll link everything down below. Thank you to Cimbri and Samantha for organizing Creators and Friends and the brand sponsors. I mean, what a joy, what a privilege, a joy, and an absolute delight to be able to go to something like this, even though it ended in such an ignominious way this time. The event itself was wonderful. So thank you to them. Thank you for being here. And don't forget to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.